Good morning, good morning. I want to start today off by asking you a few questions. And I want you to either write them down or rewatch this episode later. Because we can run through life on autopilot, where we're not really thinking about what's going on, we're just getting through the day. And one of the first question I want to ask you is, why is it that we often override our gut feelings and stamp out that little inner voice and listen to the opinions of other people instead? Especially when those opinions are designed to limit us. Now, there's many reasons why we might do this. Maybe you don't trust our own judgment, or maybe you're afraid of making the wrong decision, or if you've been told, like as I was as a child growing up, that you're not good enough, and you start to believe that. But I want to impress upon you, right, that we were not born with limitations. We were not meant to live a life of mediocrity. We were meant to soar high. We were. So why don't we? Because some people do, and some people don't. So I don't know about you, but for a very long time, I let other people dictate how far I could go in life. Now, maybe you're doing that too. And that's what stops us from getting to our full potential. So I want you to ask yourself, why do I do that? Why am I limiting myself by believing what other people say? Because that's going to limit how far you go in life and how much happiness you have. And then they're in actually charge and in control of your happiness. So before I go on, welcome to MindFit Mornings, where I give you the tools so you can live your life by design rather than default. And if you've just joined me for the first time, this week's topic is about clarity and that need for that clarity before you can take action. And so just ask yourself those questions. How am I limiting myself? Because we all have an inner voice, we all have that gut feeling that tells us what we should and shouldn't do. And we intrinsically know whether we are doing the right thing or the wrong thing. So why do we often override it then and listen to the opinions of others, like I said? I mean, there's no one question to answer that. We all have our reasons, because while we self-limit, everybody's different. But the most common one is fear, and it can be fear of insecurity or lack of self-belief or fear of failure, or what others might think of us if we don't meet their expectations. One of the ones I have a client is fear of looking stupid. The list is endless, but because it's the biggest reason why we self-limit and hold ourselves back, it's something you have to work through, and it will prevent you from having any kind of happiness. And I'm going to do something on top of the fear later, but for now I want you to commit this to memory. And it was something I did on a course a little while ago. That fear, the false evidence appearing real, you might know that one. But also there's one, forget everything and run. Or you can face everything and rise. And I love that. Because either way, fear doesn't have to stop you from reaching your goals, right? Because it isn't real. It's something you learn along the way. Now, think about this. As a baby, you were born limitless, right? No one showed you how to sit up by yourself, or how to start crawling, or how to start walking. And imagine if you gave up the minute you fell over, hit your head on the coffee table. That hurt. I really look stupid. What were people going to think of me? I didn't get that right first time. It didn't happen, did it? So you kept going because, you're inbuilt for success. The same with learning to talk by yourself and eat by yourself and get all those skills. They are all inbuilt, right? So you have an inbuilt success mechanism working for you. And all your limitations, they were things that you picked up along the way, right? And they're the results of your thoughts and beliefs that you got from the way that people around you dealt with stress, how they dealt with each other, how they showed you were a good person, how they showed you were a bad person, right? And if you believe that you're limited, you will be limited, right? You can choose to have the belief that you want. Why do we need other people's opinions anyway? There's a beautiful quote that says they're like backsides, everyone's got one. So, but if you want that abundance, you have to stop listening to other people. Stop, especially if they don't have your best interest at heart. So a good question then is to ask yourself is, why do I listen so much to what others say about me? Why do I think they know me better than I know myself? Okay. Why do I really think I need their validation? They're important questions, right? I stopped needing that validation when I was 27 years old. And now I'm the one who gets to decide, what I believe, what I want, and what I'm capable of. And just because someone can't see your worth, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay. It doesn't mean anything other than they can't see it. And that tells you more about them than it says about you, right? So, and So stop believing it, right? Stop waiting for their approval, because you're not going to get it, because they can only approve of you to the amount that they've approved of themselves. And I know we do it anyway. We can get stuck in that need for approval. I was stuck there for a long time. And, it reminded me of something I was doing at the mall the other day. I was walking around the shop, picking up this dress, picking up that, all these clothes. And then I walked to the change room and tried a few things on. Yeah, it's kind of okay, but not really what I wanted. And then I went to the cashier and I just went, you know what? I'm going to put these here for a minute and I'm going to go away and think about them. And that's like belief systems. We walk around life picking up beliefs. Some we like, some we don't like, some fit, some don't. Now we've got a choice. We can either leave them in that shop, put them beliefs down where you just picked them up, or walk out with them and make them work. How many times have you taken clothes home that you kind of worked and it's still hung in the wardrobe with a tag on it? Guilty of that one. I've done that so many times. So beliefs are like that. I love that, because when I was thinking about that, I was like, that's really true. We've got the choice to put it down. It's like, you may think that, but I don't. So this is about changing perspective then, and it's easier than you think, right? And I train all my clients to look at their obstacles as challenges, all right? Parents that think you don't good enough, right? So what? My father told me I was worth this piece of whatever, and I'd never amount to anything. And so I did a law degree just to prove him wrong, among a bunch of other things. So if you have this going on in your life, if you have people trying to squash you, not validating you, ask yourself this question: who are they? And what are they doing in their lives right now? Because when I applied that idea to who my father was, he was a nobody. He was on the dole waiting for handouts, and was one of the angriest and unhappiest men I knew. And he's telling me how I'll never amount to anything. How's that for projection, right? So look carefully at that person that's trying to keep you small, if they're not supporting you, and who are they? What are they doing with their lives? And if they're thriving in the area that you want to change into and move into, great. If they're not, then they're not. Who are they to say or judge you? How are they qualified to make an assessment of you and your capabilities? And this is something I impress upon my clients, because they're waiting for dad to give them approval. He's never going to give it. So, and what's he doing with his life anyway? So really think about that, because you don't need anyone else's approval. You really don't. All right. So the next thing I'd like to help with is to change your expectations. I help my clients free themselves from their expectations, because it's not what we do or don't get. It's our expectations of what we should and shouldn't get, of what a parent should be. But maybe they're not. Maybe they don't love or approve you. I want you to say, so what? Right? Give those things a different and a more positive perspective, because there is one if you look for it. And we all face obstacles in our lives that can prevent us from achieving clarity and focus. So it's important to see those obstacles as an opportunity to learn and grow. Like, take a step back and look at it and go, what would love do here? What am I trying to learn here? What's my unconscious trying to show me? What's being taught? Okay. So then I've got 5 steps to help you get a different perspective, all right? Because many of us can find ourselves stuck at some point, feeling like we'll never achieve. And often it's just that personal perspective that's holding you back, all right? If you can change the way that you see that situation, you can open yourself up to new possibilities. So the 5 steps that I'd like you to think about are: the first one, acknowledge that your perspective is just one way of looking at things. It's not necessarily the only way, and it may not even be the best way. It's your way. Right? Because if you put 2 people in the same room, they're going to give you a different perspective about what's going on. And so who's right? And who's right depends on the conditioning and the environment that you grew up in, and what you were made to believe by the way people did things and said things and the way you treated you. Okay? So it's your perspective. Step inside your friend's, put a body over yours. It's rake off. Put your body over her head over your head and go, how would my friend see that? Okay? So the second thing is to identify the assumptions you're making about your situation, right? What might you change, and what would be true if you assume something different? Again, look at that situation from somebody else's point of view, okay? And then the third thing is to consider other people's perspectives. What would someone else that you trust and care about say about the situation? How and why do they see it differently? And the fourth thing is to practice mindfulness, because when you're aware of what you're thinking and feeling, you can start to observe them without getting caught up. And that can help you see things from a more detached perspective. And then the last thing is to keep an open mind. Be willing to let go of your current perspective and explore new ways of looking at things. You'll be surprised at what you discover. And this has a lot to do with fixed mindset as opposed to a growth mindset. But again, that's another topic. And then I want you to apply all of those points to your obstacles. And if you have any obstacles in your way, you can do things to overcome them, like get clear on what you want. And we've talked about that. Simplify your life and eliminate distractions. And the biggest thing to eliminate distractions is make a not to do list. Not a to do list, a what not to do list. Like me, don't get on TikTok just before I'm about to go to sleep. Otherwise, sleep's about 3 hours away. All right. So take action and be patient, right? Make a decision. So you have the power to create the life of your dreams and give yourself permission to change your life for the better. And if you're feeling limited, remember the things that you were not born with limitations. Your limitations are self-imposed. And you can choose right now to believe in yourself, and you can achieve your wildest dreams because you have that power to live that life. So I want you to start taking action, start believing that you're limitless, because your body's doing whatever you tell it to. So if you say, I'm limited, you'll be limited. So I want you to tell, I'm limitless, even if you don't believe it. Lie to yourself, because that's what you've been doing anyway when you say you're not good enough. All right? So there's no better time than now to start living your own idea of a life without limitations. And when you do that, when you make up your mind, just watch and see how quickly your dreams become your reality. So that's it for me today. I will be back next Tuesday with, I'm not sure what the topic's going to be. So we will see. And we're working that out over the rest of the day. So that's it for me today. Remember to constantly work on changing your mindset so you can get MindFit and go after the life that you really want. Thank you for being here and for joining me. Be sure to join my online community and share these videos with anyone that you think might be in need of some positive thinking today. And my greatest wish, as always, is for you to be MindFit so you can live your best life. Live it with passion. Reset, be authentic, and be you. Bye for now. See you on Tuesday. Oh, Mark Sullivan from YouTube. I didn't see you over there. Good morning. I have years of going against my gut feeling. Now I don't, and things are getting much better. Absolutely. Love that, Mark. And Sebastian says, after 10 years, I refound me. And that includes not giving a, yeah, 100%. Makes a complete difference. You can do so much, can't you, when all of a sudden you stop believing other people's opinions. Sebastian also says, I've run from naysayers and rise on my own terms. Love that. Absolutely. Unlearn to rebuild says, for this very reason, we need to unlearn the social constructs and rebuild on our own terms. Absolutely. Like, what are we getting from those people anyway? Sebastian says, I've literally replaced my head with a new one. I'm all good now, and their opinion does not get inside my head. Great. I love that. Jin, hello, Jin. Good morning from Facebook. Says, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Love it. Awesome. Sebastian also says, this is why I limit who I call friend and who gets to be a part of my life. I don't need a lot of people in my personal life to feel I'm loved. I choose to get to love me and who I love. 100%. I can 100% relate to that. Mark Sullivan says, I like the idea of changing the perspective. It helps me all the time. Yeah, it's like see it from somebody else's point of view. Thanks for that. Thanks, Mark Sullivan. Awesome. Love the comment.